I would really appreciate our moderator by saying when she was assigned this task, she was a bit shy. And I think one of the things we need to be doing as women is being there for each other. So I believe, there's one thing I believe, this sky is enough to accommodate everybody. I'm fair, you're black, we are all equal. I'm tall, you're short, we are equal. First of all, we need our voices to be heard. We need gender equality. The fact that you're a man, sorry, I need to use this Yoruba language, balele, doesn't mean Iyaile shouldn't earn more than you, or we shouldn't earn equality if that is what that position is asking for. So first of all, we would want our voice to be heard. We need you people to hear us out first. We need you people to give us that opportunity to showcase our talent. And another thing is we need to bond together by networking. You know, when we network, we tend to see more values within us. I never knew she can moderate like this. So when she was speaking, I looked at her and I was like, really? So we need to bring out that hidden thing in us. We've been doing it.
My next question is directed to Sandra. Okay, Sandra, so what advice do you have for young women looking to enter traditionally male-dominated fields?
First and foremost, I would say know your craft. That's the most important thing. Your physical attributes can get you to the door, but your brain will keep you in the room. Know your craft. Know your craft. Be confident, right? Because you have this men, want to look down on you. Sometimes, I'm not saying everybody. I'm not generalizing. Be confident, be resilient, and look good while you're doing it. Thank you.
This question is: what advice would you give to organizations looking to advance gender equity more effectively?
For organizations looking to advance gender equality, we shouldn't just hire more women. We should also make sure that they have roles in all of these top. They also partake in management decision-making processes, because women are smart, of course. So your excuse shouldn't be that these women are not smart and then the men are smarter. Hell no, women are smarter. I don't want to say way smarter than women, but then that's also a fact. So you shouldn't just say, okay, this year our goal is to hire more women. What strategies, what initiatives are you putting in place to make sure that these women also have access to growth opportunities? When you're organizing trainings, it shouldn't just be for the men alone, or you select 10 men and then add just 2 women. That's inequality. And by doing so, such organizations are not going to achieve anything equity or fairness. So my honest opinion, hire more women, but also make sure they have access to growth opportunities. Thank you.
Trample on the women, put them where they belong. And it was this same person that said, where you belong is in the kitchen, that women are meant to be there. So these are some of the societal expectations, or will I say negative beliefs that tend to tear women down, and they're not allowing this equity to thrive. So there needs to be changes in this aspect for us to really come to gender equality. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I just want to correct some misconceptions about it. You said you've been in organizations where women are bossy. Have you not been in an organization where men are bossy and controlling? So I think this trait is not subjected to gender. Do you understand? It's subjected to personality. If you're a strict person, if you are a micromanager, if you are this, if you are that, everything in negative box, it is you. It's not because of you have a certain sex or stuff you get. No, I'm not trying to make it a debate. I'm just trying to clear misconceptions. Do you understand?
So sorry, just add to it.
What is work-life balance? Now, this is the process of achieving an equilibrium between your home and your work life, your home and your career. So the first thing first I would say is get to know what works for you. Because as a woman, what works for me may not work for you. What works for you may not work for me. Then when you get to know what works for you, it makes your work-life balance easier. And I would also say, now when once you've detected what works for you, be contented with it. And be consistent. You need to be consistent in whatever you're doing. So the fact that what works for A is making it look like it's the best doesn't mean if you try it, it's going to work for you. Just keep moving. keep going with what works for you. Now, don't be surprised that A is actually looking at you also, hoping to try what works for you, and you're feeling what works for you is not actually working. So, but when you keep moving, when you're contented and whatever you're doing, you're consistent with it, I tell you, the sky is your limit. And secondly, as a woman, let's look for ways to relieve ourselves of stress. Men is not easy. 2 kids, 3 kids, the home, the husband at the end of the day, in the night, you understand what I'm talking about? Then you have a career, targets are there, 2.1 billion naira is there. And I must tell you, in quotes, now if you want to look at the other sex, the only thing they think about is how to provide for the home and how to meet your targets. That's just it. But here you are, the kids are there. They need to look good. They need to feed well. Now, this comes from that little brain box of a woman. So as a woman, at the end of it all, let's look for ways to relieve our stress. One of the things that work for me is I look at myself in the mirror and I said, Christy, you're very beautiful. You have been doing it and you will do it. Especially when I have tough days at work. When I get home, after
Okay. Thank you once again, Victoria. The first and only thing I'm going to say about this is drown out the noise, right? Because as you're growing, there's a lot of noise, good, bad, drown out the noise and see yourself grow into a better person. Because it's at that age you want to try everything. Your friends, your peers are telling you do this, do that, do this. So I would advise any girl coming after us that they should drown out the noise so that they can be the best they can be. Thank you so much.
Lots of changes in terms of gender equality, if we are to be honest. But then there's been progress, and we appreciate the fact that there's been progress, because we know once it thinks that there's every probability that there's going to be increase once it begins. So our first day, the major progress that I've actually noticed is the fact that there's been increase in representation of women in leadership roles. In government, in parliament, educational sector, and the likes of them. So we've had increase in percentages lately, although it's not so good, but then it's a step towards greater heights and larger achievements. And I'd also like to say there's been improvements in the issue of child marriages, because lately there's been advocacy for more of education for the girl child. So rather than this young ladies or young children being betrothed to older men to be settled in marriage, they are being advised to actually get to school, be educated, acquire knowledge and the likes of them. So this is some of the, let's say, the progress that's been made in terms of gender equality. But then a lot still needs to be done. We have societal expectations and cultural beliefs that are still keeping ladies on their backs. They are not allowing us to thrive, and this shouldn't be. For instance, in Lagos here, you have cases where a lady wants to rent an apartment, and then they come up with a notice that, are you married? Why is that the case? Well, you have to come in with a man before you can rent an apartment. But if it's a young man who goes to rent the apartment, he or she, he's freely giving that apartment, and that's a very wrong notion about women. So this societal expectations about women needs to change. And then I'll also speak to violence and safety. Gender-based violence is prevalent, and this is very wrong. Like Amodrito rightly mentioned, the case of Natasha and the Senate President. Now it's being thrown under the grass, which is completely wrong. She's even being suspended for something that should thoroughly be looked into. But because this is a case of
Praying together.
So just like she has said, we need to ask for help, honestly. Okay, so we need to ask for help, either in the office, at home, no matter how small it is. Ask for help. Now, asking for help doesn't make you feel you can do it. I know there's one thing I love about every woman. There is nothing they feel they can do. Even if at the end of the day they fail, they keep on trying. And that's why you see how they are able to take care of their homes. Please, let's ask for help. And I beg, let's be taking ourselves out. We shouldn't wait for somebody to do it always. We shouldn't wait for our husband to take us out always. anywhere you want to. Just get a budget. How much do I want to spend for myself this month? Like, even if you can't finish the food, whatever you think will make you happy, take yourself out. On those days, if nobody is getting you that gift, buy gifts, wrap it, give it to those that like a kind of present gift. The popular saying, "Panara," give yourself that panara. You don't need to wait for anybody. You don't need to wait for anybody. Give yourself that panara. Give yourself those surprises. You don't need to wait for. I tell you, if you do all these things, you will see that on your own, you will just be getting happy. Like, you'll be happy. You won't even know why you're happy. Thank you.
Who do you think hits the numbers? Who do you think drives better?
Women.
Women, right?
Yes. I agree. Women.
That is why, as a CEO, I won't lie to you. Most of my, if I become when I become notified, most of my managerial role will be run by women.
I will especially celebrate all the women here today, and those that are not here by extension, my family members too, right? Thank God for this opportunity. When I was coming to work this morning, I was on the radio and they were discussing a particular subject, and I think this is a good place or platform to mention it. So I want to hear opinions on the matter. Alright, so someone came up with the idea that, okay, there's sexual harassment and there's sexual advancement. How do women take these two, and what does it mean to the women? Because I think they are the recipient of this most of the time. So how do they differentiate, and how do they know if this one is a sexual harassment or a sexual advancement? And are they crimes, both of them? I know one of them is definitely a crime, but is the other also a crime? So I just want to hear from the women's perspective.
Happy International Women's Day. I'm proud to be a woman. I'm proud to be a successful woman, and I am proud to be a mother. Because to me, women, we are everything. Without us, there is no man. And if we look at it, we are the mothers that give birth to these men.
Yes.
So everything starts with a woman. Even if you want to go to the religious part, Jesus even acknowledged his mother on the cross. So everything starts with a woman and ends with a woman. So when it comes, but I'm not a feminist and I don't believe in such. So when it comes to sexual advancement and sexual harassment, advancement means you see somebody you're interested, you're talking to the person, or you're sending things to the person. And it can be something that both of you have agreed to, or you're the one that is first of all pushing towards, that's advancing towards that relationship. But when it comes to harassment, that is when from initially you're advancing and the person, the opposite, the person is saying, I don't want, stop. That means what? Stop. But when you keep on going back and forth and pestering the person, that is when it comes to harassment. So when it's even good that we're talking about this thing because of what is even going on at the National Assembly. You find out that in a workplace, 20% or 30% of the women will be sexually harassed, but a lot of them will not say anything. It's just the strong ones that will come out and say something, because there's this thing about and I believe it's not only in Nigeria, but it's very common here in Nigeria that when you're sexually harassed and you open up, the first thing they'll say, is the way you dressed, is the way you did this, is the way I dress is the way I dress. My body is my body. You have no right to even come near me to harass me. So if I decide to wear the skimpiest outfit, it is what makes me happy and comfortable. So remove your face and don't come start harassing me because I am looking beautiful the way I want to look beautiful. So sexual harassment has nothing to do with you, the way you look or the way you dress. It has to do with the mindset of the person. And as far as I'm concerned, the person needs help. Because as the person is harassing you, the person knows that what he or she they are doing is wrong. But the person keeps on what? Harassing you because he feels that he is your boss, or he has a right over you, or he's the one that decides your pay, or because you find out from such things, that's how they harass you. If it's your normal colleague, that's two of you on the same level and everything, they would definitely not do that. But it normally comes from the boss, or comes from somebody that's your senior, or comes from somebody that has rights or rule over you. So you find out that it happens consistently in your workplace, maybe your neighborhood. Those things are things that happen. But for me, sexual harassment is something that should not be condoned at all in any way. And if you're being harassed, come out and say it. There's no stigma or stigmatization on it. I will not judge you, and people should not judge women. We should be free to say, I've been harassed and I don't like that. So that is the way it should go. Nobody should actually hide it, feeling that, okay, maybe I was sexually harassed because of the way I dressed, or because of who I am, or because of the way I walk, or because of... No, it shouldn't be that way. Sexual harassment is sexual harassment, irrelevant of anything. So let us take it from today that even if I decide to look good and somebody says that I'm going to be harassed, because there was something that my daughter told me one day. He said that we condone a lot of nonsense in this country, Nigeria, that when you dress the way you want to dress because you feel you're beautiful the way you dress, and somebody says, see the way you're dressed, next thing you say they raped you. Why should somebody rape me because I dress the way I want to dress? So the person is what's stake up here. You can't come and rape somebody because the person wants to look good with whatever way she or he are dressed. So we should actually come out from that and tell ourselves, I am not a victim for sexual harassment. They cannot harass me. They cannot pull me down. If I am being harassed, I will do what? Say it. Say it, and irregardless of whatever people think, because it is not something that one should actually condone.
And there's this statistics that out of 5 women, 3 people have been harassed once in their life. So sexual harassment is simply, or let me start with sexual advancement. Sexual advancement is when someone of the opposite sex, okay, or same sex, but someone of the opposite sex takes interest in you. Okay, so Mr. A likes me and is making it known to me, and by his actions or gestures, trying to buy me gifts and all that stuff, if I don't want, I will say no. Or you're asking me out, will you be my girlfriend? I'm like, no, I don't want to be your girlfriend. Do you understand? That's advancement. You're advancing to me and I'm declining. Sexual harassment sexual harassment manifests in different ways. Some are subtle, some are loud. Some are, you go to maybe your superior, like they are tapping your ass. Sexual harassment. They are trying to lure you to do things because of their disposition where they have power. So they want you to like accept their advancement to you. So they are using their power. That's sexual harassment. If you are in a place of position and you're asking somebody out, you're advancing to them, and you're trying to use your power to coerce them to accept you, that's harassment. And then we have the more toxic one, which is maybe rape and all that. So there's a difference. And even the perpetrator knows that there's a difference. Deep inside you, in your truest heart of heart, you know that you're harassing this person. And when you're advancing to them, you know. As a gentleman, if someone says no, regardless whether you're asking them out, they say no, or you're touching them and they say no, then you stop. No means no. No does not mean maybe she likes it or not. No means no. So does any other person have any contribution? Any other person?
What I want to talk about is, which we were discussing and we were much engagement, is the power when it comes to women, both on managerial level, even financial power. I'm a very open person, so let me just say it here, right? I married someone who our financial power is far higher than mine. She's a manager in Keystone Bank with official car and driver. But you know this thing, the love and the respect is still there. Sunday is my birthday. You will surprise what I will get. So it's all about character of the woman. It's all about the character of the woman. And we the men, we need to understand that we need to subject our egos sometimes. Just to endeavor that there is respect between each other. We are both friends. No one is older than the other. We are the same age mates. We met in the office like this. So one thing that I try as much as possible to do is, yes, in as much as I'm the head of the family, I don't let it get into my head. It's just that respect, mutual respect between the two of us. So it's very, very important. So I just thought I should chip that in. We, the gentlemen of Kennedia Consulting, we have a surprise for women, which is why we would like those sitting, which is why we say people to sit in the first two rows. Please check under your seats if you have a paper.
First two rows. Check under your seats.
If you have a paper, please check out. Please come outside. Congratulations to everyone. Happy International Thank you very much. Have a wonderful day.